we started the year off rolling. We started the year off hot. Everybody was playing well. There was the energy there that it was kind of like first time like of us all being healthy with Russ now. Like it was like the emergence of what it's like being with Russ now, with myself healthy, Kawhi healthy, and Russ full time here. So it was kind of like a fresh start of what we thought could work.
I woke up in the morning yesterday and I don't know what it was. I think it was one of these tweets here, right? It said here, keep a very close eye on the Warriors regarding Paul George if Klay Thompson is to leave. Like, what? Paul George? Like, the Warriors want to go get Paul George? And it was like, yeah, Warrior fans are legit excited at the prospect of getting Paul George. Are we serious right now? And the clip I played at the beginning of the pod, basically Paul George was talking about, what happened after they got Harden in the trade. Right in the beginning, they were rolling, but there was something that happened when Harden, they traded for him. There was something that, they lost in that trade.
And then we traded to get James, and it's not James' fault of why I think we struggled, but I
Right.
think the lost part of that was that we lost Rocco, we lost Nico.
Right.
Those was our glue guys. Like that was our defenders. And we play small, so they had the length to help us play small.
Right.
So again, it had nothing to do with losing or grabbing James. It was more so losing those guys, KJ Martin as well. Like that was our energy, our young legs. So I think that's kind of where, you get to late in the year and, we just weren't as good as we could have been. I think
Right.
losing those guys kind of hurt us. You know what I mean? Because like Rocco was huge for us. Nico was huge for us. They would go get rebounds. They would block shots. They would,
What?
rotate. They were defensive guys. So you plug those guys around myself, Kawhi, Russ, like, they did a lot of the dirty work.
They did a lot of the dirty work. Are we serious right now? Rocco and KJ Martin and Nick Batum and all these guys, they're the reason. Look, we lost like energy. We lost even though y'all did start the season off, right? Y'all did lose 6 straight with Harden, after the trade. But then y'all started winning like 25 of the last 30 games and whatnot. What the fuck is this crap? The thing that gets me about Paul George talking about we started losing after Harden got traded. Bro, if Harden wasn't on your team, I'm not sure y'all would have went 6 games against the Mavs. Y'all would have probably gotten swept. You averaged less than 20 points in the playoffs, shot, just below 42%, below 37% from the 3-point line, right? Let's see Harden's stats. This is a guy, by the way, who's supposed to be the third option or even the second option with Kawhi hurt in the playoffs. And let's see. This dude averaged 21 points per game in the playoffs. This guy outplayed you in the playoffs. 45% shooting almost. 38% 3-point shooting almost. 90% free throws. I mean, that's just free throws. Harden outplaying you. He's also facilitating. And Paul George, you ought to be ashamed of yourself talking about not doing the dirty work when you are a prototypical two-way player. That's what people they like the things that you do on defense. And you're complaining that you don't have the guys to do the dirty work for you and Kawhi. And so when I see stuff like this with Paul George, him complaining about losing out on Rocco and Nick Batum and KJ Martin, right? When I see him complain that, those are the guys that do the dirty work, right? It gets worse. I'll play the rest of the interview later. This is why I'm like, I just can't help but laugh when I see these dudes, these Warrior fans wanting Paul George, man. This same guy was sitting down with Embiid during the NBA Finals talking about, and then Embiid was winking like, we're trying to get a player, wink, wink, and then he just looks at Paul George. This got to be one of the saddest groups of people I've ever seen. Perkins having more finals points than Paul George and Embiid combined. It almost seems like Paul George with his podcast, he's trying to basically gain leverage in this whole kerfuffle, right? And he said here, apparently, I mean, at this point, it's not even about like people saying chasing the championship. Like, it's not that, but it's playing the right style of basketball is what I'm chasing. What? I'm playing the rest of the interview, bro. Playing the right style, but apparently you don't want to do the dirty work.
And now you grab James, who's a super super talented offensively.
Exactly.
Now myself, Kawhi, like we become the dirty guys, and now we have to score too. And it was just, I think a lot that we were trying to balance and manage at that point. But again, had nothing to do with James. James, I thought was awesome for us. One of the best passers I played.
Okay, he basically spends the rest of the freaking clips talking about how great Harden is. It's not him. It's not really him. It's not you. It's just me. I don't want to do the dirty work with Kawhi and Leonard, man. I really just don't want to do it. Like, I'm so sorry. Like I remember Doc. He told me, he wanted me to play like Ray Allen. JJ Redick movement shooting. Now it's like I don't want to do the dirty work anymore. Like this dude Paul George has so many excuses, bro. This guy, he comes with excuses. It's almost like you trade not just for his contract, but also the pile of excuses he carries with him in his baggage.
Is Paul George the guy, though? Is this the most important domino in free agency?
Well, let's remember that Paul George has three options. One is to re-sign with the Clippers. Two is to enter free agency and go somewhere else like Philly or Orlando. Three, he can opt into his contract and get traded by this weekend. That is something that is going to come to a head in the next day or two if he wants.
Pardon me? You mean to tell me this dude could opt into his contract, but then request out and leave the Clippers? Oh my god. I keep playing this sound effect because it's so dumb. This dude. You're telling me this dude Paul George. You're telling me word Pauldo. Like what is you're telling me this guy's Yo, this is too funny, man. And you got Warrior fans fantasizing about a 34-year-old Paul George replacing a 34-year-old Klay Thompson, man. And by the way, this is no disrespect to Tucker, right? From Sporting Logical, right? I don't want to diss him, but he proposed, I don't know, he just proposed maybe this could happen. The Magic jumping ahead of free agency and trading for Paul George by giving up, let's see here, Jonathan Isaac, Joe Ingles, Anthony Black. Why would they do this? Like, why would Orlando do this? I want nothing to do with Paul George if I'm Orlando, bro. All right, that's too much time with me talking about Paul George. I don't care enough. But in other news, JJ Redick is out of the podcasting game. He's done, folks. It's over. You don't have to hear JJ Redick talk about potentially being a coach anymore because he's a coach now. And now he's not going to be doing his podcasting anymore. Great stuff for JJ Redick. Good luck coaching LeBron James. You'll need it.
Paul George is going to be a Golden State Warrior. The trade is done, per my sources.
This is why I hate the offseason, bro. We got fake intel. Like, can we stop with this shit, bro? All right, I'm really done now. I'm out. Peace out.